Welcome to Home's Room. Just like homeroom, we start off our day getting together with our homies, swapping stories, even a little kiss and tell action. This podcast contains language not suitable for younger listeners, topics about sex and mental health. Discretion is advised. Our views are our own. Let class begin.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm still doing that whole, chronologically for us, it is only like weeks apart, but still doing that like radio announcer thing when I open. So, Kaitlin, are you still appreciating that?
Ooh, welcome back at home. No, I do. And it's immediately like a tone, like it sets the tone for the interview. Like, you're excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. We got Kim here today. Like, we're all pumped.
Whoa,
to
buddy,
be here.
you just like spilled the beans.
Sorry, friends.
It's too exciting. It's too exciting. I'm here.
There was an extra layer of the welcome back to Home's Room this week because Matt's super, super pumped about our guests, and I am too. Go ahead, Matt.
So, with us today, artist with the needle, business owner, a vicious sweetheart on and off the roller derby track, boss babe, Kim.
Hello.
How are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah,
this evening.
Whatever we want to call it. We have the luxury of saying whatever time it is currently.
Yes.
So we have to remember that like when we're recording this, it's like it'll be like weeks, months, whatever down the road before somebody hears it. So we have to remember
That's
like,
true.
well, I guess when you're gonna listen to this, it could be 7 o'clock in the morning, or like it could be like 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. I don't know. Either way,
Insert
as long as
time
you're
of
listening.
day here.
Yeah, correct. But I'm super excited to have you here, not only because like I've gotten to witness your boss babe in action, both in your business and in your support of all of the other, people that we are floating around on this rock with. And I love that. Like I remember the very first time you came to one of the FCRD games.
Ooh,
and
I'm
I was
excited
like,
to hear this.
who is this person yelling? This is intense. And I couldn't see because you had like a sea of KCRW people around you. And I was like,
I'm also 5'2", so
true. There is that. And then I noticed this small statured person just like giving it to everybody on the track, but it wasn't like heckling. It was like heckling loud, heckling like tone. But it was like the most positive messages ever. And then you were holding a sign, and I wish I could remember what the sign said, but it was just like such an encouraging, I think it was like something about zebras maybe, but I don't remember.
So I have 3 that I rotate. One says, don't forget to communicate, with a rainbow. One says, do the derby, do it. And that has blood all over it. And then the other one is, go sports, and then at the bottom it says yay zebras, because those zebras, which in roller derby is what we call our referees, those zebras, man, they keep us all so safe. It's so nice to have them, and they're all volunteers.
Okay. Kim, my husband, he religiously follows sports on the weekends, and he follows. So we're in St. Louis, of course, it's a given. He is a huge St. Louis Cardinals baseball fan.
Mm-hmm.
Go Birds. But he will also randomly follow the most ambiguous college sports. Like I came down one Saturday and he had the kids watching like the women's softball collegiate playoffs with like the postseason with him. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I really so appreciate your sign Go Sports, because I want to be that supportive wife, but I really, to the deepest core of me, I don't give a shit about, so much of what he watches, but I always say, Go Sports. Put the thing in the thing and don't do it with any mistakes. Go Sports.
You can,
but all 3 of those signs, Kim, you need to put those on stickers or T-shirts if you have not already. That's a missed business opportunity. Are you kidding me?
That's true.
Those are great.
Yeah, I have a lot of cardboard at my disposal here, so I can just quick whip up some fun little signs for my friends that are trying real hard on the track.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Kim? What is it that you do besides be supportive?
The year was 1987. No, just kidding. I am 36. I was born in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. If you can't tell by the accent that I am slowly getting rid of, but I hope never that much. I'll still say big till the day I die. But anywho, I moved around a bunch after college and stuff, slowly kind of migrating west in Minnesota and stuff. And then about 4 years ago, I moved down here for a business opportunity, and that was September 2019. And then, boom, 4 months later, shut down. Mm-hmm. So I was laid off, and I was in a city that I did not know anybody in, and it was really interesting. And once I got laid off, I decided to go and pursue tattooing. And kind of rewinding a little bit, when I did go to college, I received my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in painting, and then I went and got a second degree in graphic design. So I was doing graphic design, creative directing, art directing, kind of bouncing around place to place, and really, you know, kind of figuring out slowly but surely that 9 to 5 behind a desk is not where I belong. So when the layoff happened, it was kind of like, oh man, but also like, hey, here's an opportunity to do something. So I got an apprenticeship with an awesome artist, and did that for about 2 years. And then, what's today? Is today April 1st? Oh my God, you guys. And then 1 year ago today, I opened Vicious Sweethearts Tattoo. Whoa!
Wow!
I didn't even think about that.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's
divine.
So
I love it.
Wow, serendipitous. I love it.
You, if you're a longtime listener, you will know this. If you're new, you will not know this. But I do this thing where I get, we got to come up with a name for it, Kaitlin, but I've been referring to it recently as like the Peter tingle, because they said it in Spider-Man and it was funny. But it's like just like a weird sense. And I'm like, man, I'm going to reach out to this friend, or something's hitting me. And like the last interview,
Peter
the one that
tingle.
dropped. Yeah.
It's Matt's friend, Peter Tingle. Yeah.
So I like my friend.
I don't know how
who's,
I feel about this.
Well, realistically, it's Peter Parker. Yeah, it's Peter Parker. So it's like his Spider-Man tingle, but his Spidey sense. But
I think you should own it and just have it be the Matt tingle.
Matt tingle. Okay, all right,
love it.
We're done.
Well.
I
stamped.
love that. That is awesome. Absolutely.
So whenever I get these like moments of like, man, I'm gonna reach out to this friend or whatever, and they almost always are like, I don't know how you do this, but I'm going through something and I really needed, and it just always happens that way. And the last time it happened, my friend who in our current timeline, his episode dropped today, and he released a song on the radio, and like the day or 2 days before he posted about it, I was driving down the road and I was like, why isn't his music on the radio? I feel like it should be on the radio. This is weird that it isn't on the radio. Like, this is silly. And then 2 days later, he made a post, hey guys, my song's on the radio. So I just felt that energy in the world. And
Matt
I'm
Tingle.
I'm assuming you said like, you said, is this date okay? And I was like, honestly, this is our normal recording time anyway. So it's perfect that you chose this time and this day. So it just like everything aligned. So that's pretty awesome.
It didn't even enter my head, because so I'm having the like 1 year anniversary party on Friday, because more people can come to things on Friday nights than Monday nights.
Yeah.
So in my head, everything's Friday, but it's today. Wow.
Happy anniversary. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so
And
much.
nothing more fitting than the 1 year anniversary of you taking this terrifying, scary deep dive into trusting into yourself and your vision for your own life and your business to be a part of our Boss Babe series.
Oh, thanks.
And honestly, I take it. I think I've had like 1 or 2 weird Matt Tingle text messages where I'm like, what the fuck are you? This is abnormal. Why are you checking in on me like this? it is such a compliment for an indicator of his heart and compassion for other people that he has that and acknowledges it and doesn't just like push it down or whatever. So welcome to the Matt Tingle Club, Kim.
Hell yeah.
We should get t-shirts made.
I'm thinking, Girl Scout badges. I'm trying to bring them back, like sashes for like things that adults do that, we should get acknowledgement for, like paying our taxes and stuff like that. Matt Tingle. I got that badge today.
Yes. So I'm going to skip forward a bunch of questions because I was going to ask you about this particular anniversary. And since you brought it up, now's the perfect time. Yeah. So you're celebrating 1 year since your doors opened. And what does that mean looking back at that journey?
Oh, man. It's been eventful. Lots of ups and lots of downs, there's so much to owning a business and being your own boss that, people kind of, idolize or fantasize about, but there's a lot of it that is really, really hard. Like, in my particular business of tattooing, sure, there's tremendous creativity in it, but there's also so much administrative work behind the scenes with appointments, making appointments, social media, and like
confirm.
And so there are times when I would get just gassed out, and then things would pile up, and that's no bueno for anyone. And then you kind of lose some of that confidence because you feel like you have to constantly apologize for this and that or the other. I did thankfully have such a great friend, Hex Pistol, who used to play in KCRW before the shutdown. Jamie, she has been my manager, who has been helping me behind the scenes with administrative stuff and scheduling and stuff. So if any of the listeners have scheduled an appointment, they've most likely been messaging with Jamie, and she is such a savior to me for helping me in so many ways. Shout out to Jamie, another boss bitch right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's one of the struggles. Another struggle, again, with this particular business is, like with any kind of seasonal thing, weirdly, tattoos are kind of seasonal. There's times where they're really slow. Mostly the slow times would be, like July, August, because people are out and about on vacation in the sun, in water. Because tattoo aftercare is a good 2 weeks, and for big pieces, you can't be in the sun, you can't be in the pool, you can't be in any sort of water. I mean, you can take showers, obviously, but you can't like submerge it for a long amount of time. And so, vacation time, no one wants to get tattoos. And
that's so interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah, and then the other slow time is usually November, December. Well, December, January, because people are saving up for holiday presents and stuff. And then January, people are recovering from Christmas stuff. So yeah, it's weird ebb and flow seasons. April's always pretty good because that's tax
return season. Yep.
And it's the 1st of April, so it's starting. So yeah, so there's good times, there's bad times. But yeah, that's one of the things. But a lot of the times I come to work, I sit down in my office, in my chair, with my business logo on my door, and I paint, or I draw the tattoo that I have for that week, or look through my schedule and get them all ready to go. And it's heaven to me. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can't think, like I say it all the time, I can't think, I'm a writer, and if I could write and chill in the morning, brainstorm ideas, drinking my coffee on my back porch, watch my dog run around, and then come inside and continue to put stuff down and get stuff done, and then spend my afternoons kind of, trying to help the next person do what I just did. that would be like
Yeah.
my ideal day, just simply because like, man, and then obviously taking my kids to school and picking them up and all that stuff and being a dad, but being a writer, like that's the dream. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that you are embracing that, and like
Yeah.
even in the slow times, that's huge.
Yeah, I'm, you know, like we said, it's the year anniversary, so I'm definitely learning, you know, business do's and don'ts behind the scenes, ways to kind of combat those slow seasons and drum up business, and ways to kind of make the busy seasons last.
Yeah.
So,
That's kind of one of the things I was going to ask you as well is, you know, what did you have to learn before you jumped into like, you know, running Vicious Sweetheart?
well, I did a lot of online research, more for the logistics behind it, and the like laws and things I had to follow for Missouri rules, Kansas rules, locations, things like that. Once I kind of looked into it, figured some things out, got in touch with the Department of the Office of Tattooing. It seemed like, okay, I have these steps I could take. A lot of these don't seem too bad. I already have my tattoo license, a tattoo establishment license. I think you know, I kind of got the steps going, and as I slowly knocked things off and got some timelines going, I was like, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. And it just kind of fell into place to the point where I was like, this feels wrong, you know, but in such a right way.
Yeah.
So, Kim,
Yeah.
you're going through the process of crossing your T's, dotting your I's. Did you ever, at any point when you took this leap, have anybody that was a critic of this move, or somebody that warned you against maybe this was not a good idea, that now a year later that you can offer some kind of hindsight to those type of people? So this is I bring this up too because as a creative person, Matt is the same type of person. We put content out there. You know, maybe it's not people that are openly critical to us to our faces, but maybe have something to say when we're not around to defend ourselves, kind of thing. Like, I'm just really curious about what your experience is on that front of things a year later.
Yeah, well, there were definitely a few close people in my life that were, you know, kind of quote unquote the devil's advocate for a lot of things. Making me ask hard questions about things and myself, and ways to go about things, you know. And also just kind of, this is a couple different subjects, but being kind of so newly out of my apprenticeship. I was about a year out when I decided to branch off. There were a couple of reasons for that. I definitely thought that I would be more successful if I ran the entirety of my success, and was only responsible for my success, you know, and not asking anyone else to help me without, you know, being fairly compensated for it. And so I was, that was one of the main reasons I left. But being so newly a tattoo artist, I feel like I had a little bit of skepticism thrown on me for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I stand by my portfolio, you know. If you take a look at it and you like what you see, come on down and you'll like what you have, you know.
Love.
And a year later, people have been confirming that for me. So
Yeah, I am one of them. So we're here as, you know, artists and creators and things like that. And like I said, you know, I'm one of those like annoying people to everybody, where like I see something and I'm like, ooh, I want to try it, and then I try it long enough to get like,
that's not annoying at all.
Yeah. So like I do a lot of things, and I love art of all kinds. Like I don't, because of the way the setup is with the three of us, you can't probably see it on your screens, but I have art from friends like around me in this space because like I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as, you know, like what does it mean to be in your own place that you made happen as an independent artist, not necessarily as like a tattoo artist or not necessarily as somebody that was an apprentice, but like as an artist, to have your own space. Like I'm looking at this badass painting you have behind you that you said you just finished. That looks so amazing.
She casually dropped, "Oh, I had some like 15 minutes or whatever, so I finished this painting." Like, and whips out this beautiful, stunning piece. Are you kidding me, Kim? That's absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks. I tried. It's called Lonely Cthulhu, by the way.
I like
He just wants a little friend.
Love.
But back to your question, Matt, it's interesting because, like I said kind of before, being able to come in and kind of designate how I spend my day, whether it's spending, you know, a couple hours painting, sketching, tattooing, business work, you know, I can make it what I want, and being able to throw in those, oh, it's Monday afternoon, I'm going to paint for the next 4 hours, you know? I mean, if I could go back and tell that Kim in art school about that, she'd probably tear up a bit too. So
good. That is the like message that I want more people to say is like, it can be done.
Yeah. And I also want to say that I am 36 and I am going to start so many more things as I get older, so many more things. And I did not have this studio when I graduated art school. I didn't have it 10 years after I graduated art school because life and opportunities and situations just completely ebb and flow, and sometimes you just kind of gotta ride it and work with it and figure out when's the right time for some things. And right now, this is a really good time. So,
stamp. You just got us a sound clip for the social medias. Boom.
I love it. It's not gonna be me saying big.
So. Maybe we might throw that in there too. That might be a story clip to get people to wonder what the heck we're talking about.
Love.
Big, Slake, big.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. And then like the AI captions will be like, I have no idea. I think she's saying big.
I don't know. What do I do with this?
So we have to address an elephant in the room.
Okay.
You tattooed my wife's butt. And I just want to know how do you approach tattoos like that? Are there any body parts that like you're just like, no, I'm not going to tattoo?
It depends on the situation, the person, and what they want and why they want it. There's I've done a few butts, mostly people that are comfortable with me that I've known, that I've met before, but you know, it's just, it kind of it's a appointment by appointment basis. The hardest tattoo I think I've done so far would be a throat tattoo, which I've actually got another appointment with her coming up in about a week, I think, to color it in. And it's hard because for me, one of the hardest parts about tattooing is the discomfort I cause to the people that I'm trying to give art to.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. And throat tattoos, man, they hurt. So, and it's, you know, a lot of stuff to kind of work around. But
so Kim, let me just tell you this as somebody, I don't know that our listeners know this, but I have both sides of my rib cage just completely blasted. Yeah. Okay. Both sides of my rib cages are just blasted. Maybe someday I will do an Instagram post and tag you, Matt, in what I'm talking about. But part of the understanding of having this art on me forever is that there's a level of suffering that I'm going to have to suck it the hell up and endure to be able to enjoy it. So I really love that you are like almost an empath on that level of pain that you are causing that person. It's 100%. Maybe not until the first time that little kitten claw and that little cat scratch, claws into their skin, and they're like, oh, this is what I have to deal with for the next 4 to 6 hours. Okay, yeah. I get it.
I noticed a lot of my. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. But it's not anything that somebody's signing up for, not with at least some kind of understanding and acceptance of like, I'm going to have to suffer a little bit to be able to wear this beautiful piece of art on me for the rest of my life. So please make sure that you share that finished picture of that throat ink on your Instagram, because I really would love to see it.
I sure will.
But yeah, I really love that you have that heart for other people. Like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm causing this pain. But also, Kim, you are giving them a beautiful piece of art that they have a story behind, most likely, that they get to talk about for the rest of their lives. It's a piece of their identity that they have on their body for the entire world to see moving forward for the rest of their life.
That's my sound clip for my shop now.
We'll send it.
Thank you, Kaitlin. That's really sweet of you to say.
Absolutely, Kim. Of course. Yeah.
There's always a level in any artistry of imposter syndrome that, we all deal with. And, when you're dealing with something so personal as someone's body and art that they want forever on it, it's hard sometimes to like be confident in that. But as a tattoo artist, you have to show that, you have to show that confidence to help them in the situation that will be uncomfortable. And, I still get some, butterflies in my tum-tum every time a tattoo starts, but when they leave smiling, I'm smiling, and it makes my heart happy.
So, I tell people when it comes to podcasting, my nervous moment is always not before I hit record. It's before I let you in. Like, you had to click the button to say like, and I had to let you in, right? It's that moment right before.
It's when the fucking doorbell rings, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God. Yeah, and then they get in and I'm like, oh, I love you. You're my best friend.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody has a good time. I will also say, for me, like, getting a tattoo, like, the pain might suck. It's never that moment that's like terrible for me. It's always like that night or the next day when I go to like lay down or move. I'm like, God damn it. This is that's the time where I'm like, should I have done this? Should I not? No, it'll be good. And then like a week later, you're like, okay, it's good. But
it's like rink rash, but with
exactly.
a picture at the end.
Exactly. It's a good like permanent mark as opposed to like a bad permanent mark. So you kind of said the throat was your like hardest. I'm curious, and I had it listed as what is your hardest, your most rewarding, and one that fell through that you were just like really excited about that you ended up not being able to do. Like, you got some stories like that for us?
Let's see. Well, there's one that kind of ties into kind of a funny story. There was a person that wanted to come in for their first tattoo, and it was kind of a little memorial piece for their child that was just born, like a footprint. And as I was going to line up the stencil to put it on, they started falling backwards, and I was just drawing with like a marker at the time. And so they had passed out, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I brought them back. You're
just drawing on them like a needle was not even introduced into the equation.
This was pre-stencil.
Okay. Yeah.
Which for a lot of people, the time when they walk into the studio to when the needle first touches them, like, and me included, when I go get tattoos, that's the time that I'm most anxious. Is like that in between time. And some people, that's the time that they're most anxious. And he, maybe something that day, didn't get enough water, didn't eat enough, or was a little too nervous, but he had passed out. And then we had decided that we weren't going to do it that day, but we were going to do it another day after he maybe ate some more or something. But he ended up not coming back in, and I was real sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
So that was one, I guess, that I wish I could have done for him. Or for them, but and okay, so you gave me like 3 questions. You can't do that.
So that was your one that fell through. What's your most rewarding? Like just a piece that you were like super happy about.
I got one. There was there's this family that I have tattooed a few times, and one of their children is on the spectrum and is pretty high functioning, but has had, quite a journey. And they really wanted a tattoo just like the rest of their family. And so we scheduled an appointment, and they came in, and after one line, it was a little too intense. So we had to stop for the day. And so they just had this like one line on their arm, and their sibling kept saying it was a worm tattoo. They were all very, like supported. It was sweet, sweet family, and they're all just super supportive. And so we tried some numbing cream, and they came back in like a month later, and the not having sensation was almost worse than having sensation for them.
Okay.
So we decided not to do it that day either. And then about a month after that, they came back in for a third try, and we got that sucker on there. And
Yay!
Oh man, I felt good that day. That was the hardest and most rewarding tattoo, because it was a tiny tattoo. It was about, I'm going to say I worked on it maybe 7 minutes total.
Okay.
Just a tiny little tattoo. But every single line, I was like, this is it. I have to do this one and done, ready. And then just be, back away, and just like get it done. And so like I was sweating. I was like, we got to do this. And we did it. We knocked it out. And now they're a tattooed individual.
Love that story. See, so that is like the version of you that I know in a nutshell, that you care deeply. And I don't know you like super well. I've hung out with you for like whatever that was, like 2 hours, I think, while you did like my tattoo and like Courtney's tattoo. And then like I've seen you at games, and I talked to you for like maybe a minute on Saturday and gave you a sticker, like a Homes Room sticker. So like, that's it. But I can tell
I put
that
it on
like,
my helmet, by the way.
We'll have to send a picture.
I will.
But we like, I genuinely care about people, and I love when I see other people like genuinely care about a thing or genuinely care about people. And I've seen you do both. And like, I just remember like when you were tattooing Courtney's her arm, the laser focus, like I like watching tattoo artists because I'm an artist. So I like watching the thing, but like seeing it from like that perspective, how like you are, I don't want to say entranced, because that sounds weird, but like you're focused, but you're still aware. And like, that is a true level of artistry that like only I think other artists can like appreciate, because they can see it. And to the same token,
that's cool
people that, like I said, I was impressed. I was just like stuck on it for a minute watching, but to the same token, people that genuinely care about others and like want the best for them in their like heart of hearts, with no, self reward. That's also a thing I find really beautiful. And I've seen you do that as well. So like hearing that story, that does not surprise me that you tried that hard, and that you wanted to get it done, and that you would have gone to any length to make sure that happened. And I appreciate that, because I just think that's just such a cool thing. So good on you.
I appreciate you saying that. They, after we finished that tattoo, they were already planning their next one. So
yeah, as do we all.
I know.
That's awesome. Okay, Kim.
Yeah,
I have a question that I have always wanted to ask a tattoo artist.
Tattoo artist, so maybe I'll be able to answer it.
I really hope you are, Kim, and you are a boss babe and so deserving of this interview. Let me tell you, I love it. Is there a certain stereotype about tattoo artists in your industry or even in our country that is just like common knowledge or like a common stereotype that you completely disagree with, that you would like to address and give an alternative perspective on? Yeah.
Well, one thing that I think is kind of interesting is there's kind of old school, new school in ideology of tattooing, and I don't see any harm in either belief, and I think what works for you, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a few of your other episodes, Matt, and you were kind of talking about some gatekeeping in different industries, and it's definitely something that happens in the tattoo industry with any kind of thing that involves an apprenticeship, you know, you're going to kind of have that. And in an industry, now I'm going to preface this saying the shop that I was an apprentice in was fantastic, and I was treated so well by all the individuals there. There is kind of a ranking, though, you know, like a totem pole, if you will, of where you are and what you do. And in the old school way of thinking, when an apprentice is in the shop, they're called the shop bitch. And I was in a shop with 7 dudes, and no one called me shop bitch. I was the shop manager.
Okay. Love. But, okay.
Yeah, so in that regard, you know, there was definitely respect given to me by all of the people there. But also, you know, I understood how I needed to learn things, you know, there was kind of a process to it. But so that's kind of old school, new school. There's also, you know, in all situations, people that kind of ruin things for people. Like I said, kind of gatekeeping, and some people that hold on to like tradition for tradition's sake. You know, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, and I see that a few times every now and then in the industry. And with the lens, you know, of being a female in the industry, I can see it in ways that some other people can't, you know.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to address is numbing cream. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
So, I don't understand why people have a problem making this a pain-free experience. So, if you do the research on the tattoo numbing cream, and if you talk to your artist about any recommendations they have or what they've used and what's worked well, I say go for it. Do test patches, you know, do it in a way that is safe, and do your research on the company. But why are we like, okay. I'm going on tired.
Kaitlin, hand her your soapbox. Yeah.
Get on your soapbox, Kim, and you stand up there loud and proud, because it's typically about like 30% of every episode that we record that I stand on my soapbox, and that's just like, all right, let me sit the fuck back in my chair and get comfortable, because here Kaitlin goes. So
you make it sound like I'm so mad about it. Like I'm usually like, okay, let us know. Please tell us.
So let's go, Kim. Get on your soapbox. Tell us about numbing cream, please.
Okay. So I forgot where I was going. I was so excited.
You're all good. You're all good.
Oh, okay. So coil machines, take those versus machines that have little battery packs on them that don't have foot pedals or, you know, the old school coil. You see kind of 50-50 in who uses what. Some people use both. Some people only use the coil, you know, some people only use the battery. I only learned with the battery machine, so that's all I use because it's new technology and it works for me. And the industry is evolving, and that's one way it has evolved. I'm seeing tattoo numbing cream as another evolution to the tattoo industry, where it's an early stage of it. So there's going to be some that work better than others, some that are more reputable than others, some that are going to try to scam you, whatever. But if, like I said, you do your research, you ask your artist what they think, you know, et cetera, do test patches. Make it painless. I want you to have my art without hurting you.
I thank you for saying that. I think good advice from a good artist is like sometimes hard to come by. And this leads me to my next question. Okay. But first, a story. Okay. So my first tattoo I got right when I turned 18. I lost a cousin suddenly who was like an older sister to me. So I wanted to get a rosary, and I wanted to put her name, like the letters spelling out her name in the beads. So I went to the place that you know, most people recommended in our town. And, you know, at that point it was like, I assume whoever was going to be free at the time to do a consult. But like, when I got there, they were like, oh, you're going to want to talk to this person. They're not here because that's like something that he would really be down for. So it's like, okay, cool. You're giving me solid advice because I don't know anything. So I came back, had a consult with that person, and he was super jazzed about it. And I was like,
Awesome.
all right, awesome. And he's like, I'll get it drawn up and then, you know, come back. This is when your appointment is, put your deposit down and we'll go. Flash forward to that day. I didn't, no other information. That was it. So I was like, cool. So flash forward to that day, had a bowl of cereal, you know, sat around, watched TV for a second because I took the day off because I was going to go get a tattoo. I go in about 10, 15 minutes early because like I'm one of those people that's like, if you're not early, you're late. So I'm sitting there and they're like, oh.
Doorbell 15 minutes early, I will punch you in the face.
No,
So
I just sat outside and waited. Fair. Also, your place is in a skate shop, so like I might just walk around for a minute.
Dude, that's another tangent we got to talk about.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So like I show up and then they're like, oh yeah, he'll be here any minute. He usually shows up, you know, right about, you know, 10 to 15 minutes early. I was like, okay. So I sit there thinking, you know, he'll come in at any minute. Doesn't come in. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I might go stand outside because like, I feel weird sitting in here this early. And they're like, yeah, no problem. We'll come get you when he comes in. And like 20 minutes goes by. And I was like, okay, now we're like 10 minutes after this tattoo should have started. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know, you know, what's going on. So I go back in. She's like, oh yeah, he'll be here. It'll be fine. So then another like 15 minutes goes by. So now we're like 30 minutes past when we should have started. Yeah. Artist shows up and I could smell alcohol on him, but I'm like, I don't know if you smell like alcohol or if it's just like, maybe like, I don't, so you could be a functioning like hangover person. I don't know. Like this is your forte. It's my first tattoo. I have no idea. Do tattoo artists smell like alcohol? Is that a thing? Maybe it is, you know, as like 18-year-old me thought. So, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go draw it up. And I was like, wait, you were supposed to already have it drawn up. And he's like, yeah, give me like 15 minutes. So now like an hour after my appointment starts, we finally start. And like I said, I only had like a bowl of cereal like 4 hours ago. Yeah. So I'm sitting there getting tattooed. It's on my wrist. And like a quarter, maybe like a third of the way through, I start to feel a little weird. And he's like, yeah, man, just let me know. If you keep feeling weird, just let me know and we could take a break. And I was like, okay. So he keeps going. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit weird. Like maybe my vision is getting fuzzy, but also like, I'm like looking down at you doing this. So like, maybe it's just cause I'm looking down. Sure. And he's like, yeah, man, whatever. And then all of a sudden my vision got like, old school TV snow. Yep. And I was just like, I was like, this is not good. And another artist came in and she was like, I think he's out, dude. And he's still tattooing me. And I can't move. I can see her, but it's fuzzy. And he's like, no, he was just talking to me. And she's like, I'm pretty sure he's out, dude. Maybe like take a second. And he's like, no, he's good. He's good. And like, I'm trapped in my body at this moment. And I was like,
Matt, what?
I was like, cool. This is amazing. Exactly. This is why I asked this question. How should people pick a good tattoo artist? And what things should they consider? Because that was my first tattoo. And had I known what I know now about finding a tattoo artist, I might not have gone to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, I'm sorry. And I'm glad that you have gotten more tattoos since.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds, yeah. Well, obviously, the thing that we always say whenever anyone asks, you know, or anyone has an idea for what kind of tattoo they want, first thing they should do is look around for shops, you know, that are reputable in their area. And then, you know, also shops or artists, you know, you can start with either of those. You know, word of mouth is so great because then you get actual experiences from people, not just like generated Google reviews that, you know, you can pay people to get and stuff. You actually like talk to people about, yeah, they were on time and really cool and didn't smell like alcohol, and, you know, shit like that. But so vet your artist for one. If anything seems kind of sketch, probably is, you know, like artists will be forthcoming with information to you about like your appointment, what you need, what to expect, etc. One thing in the industry that people think that I do kind of want to talk about a little bit is like your tattoo, having it drawn up like an hour after your appointment was supposed to start. Yeah. But
Yeah.
a lot of people will ask for like drawings and illustrations, like a week before, et cetera, et cetera. And
Well, I mean, that's what the consultation appointment is supposed to be for, right?
well, the consultation usually is for me personally, it's to come in face to face, talk about the appointment if we haven't met before, and then I will take physical, like I'll type up notes about everything about what you want in your tattoo.
Yeah.
And then things you like and also things you don't like, because that's very important sometimes to know what kind of like, are you religious? Are you not religious? Should I include any iconography in here you want or don't want, et cetera, et cetera. So I get all that information. They send me any references, anything they like, anything they don't like. So that's how I get all that information. And then once I have all that, I will schedule time for myself to draw it out. But, just because your tattoo's a week from now doesn't mean that there's not like 6 other ones that I also have to do. You know what I mean? So a lot of people will ask for drawings ahead of time, and it's, as a tattoo artist, it's just not something that we can really do a lot of the time. I say that by also saying, if your tattoo artist has drawn something that you are uncomfortable with or don't like, or there's something you want to change, please, 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 please vocalize it, because this is going on your body forever.
Of course.
And if you don't like it, then we didn't do a good job, so like, be patient with your artist in the creative process that they have personally. Some people, work better under pressure. I usually do mine within 36 hours of the tattoo appointment, know. But again, we talk about it. If there's something you don't like, it's not going on your body. You know.
Kim, why do you think that people are so nervous to like say, I like 90% of what you drew up, but I don't like this small. Like, why do you think people are not open and forthcoming about something that's literally about to be tattooed on their body for all eternity?
A couple of reasons. One, they don't consider themselves to have an artistic eye, so they might not think that they're seeing it the way other people are going to see it. And another thing that people have told me that just blows my freaking mind, but makes sense because I think it too about other tattoo artists, is like there's this weird like rock star mentality around tattoo artists. I know, Kaitlin, it's weird. It's weird. But like,
I mean, Kim,
artists,
I think you're a rock star, so what the fuck do I know?
Stop. But like, there's this weird thing where you think, tattoo artists, they're so fucking cool. I can't say this to them.
Well, I could also see that too as like, if you're getting an appointment with an artist that's like super the fuck booked up, and it's like, it's almost like it's an honor. It's an honor for you to be able to have a spare hour to be able to tattoo on my body kind of thing.
And to that point, if you're wanting that kind of tattoo, a lot of times people say that to me. They're like, I'm very open to your artistic interpretation of this. Let's do this. And other people are more specific about what they want. And, those are things we talk about in the consultation or over messages and stuff. And, there's both types of people. And this is, all from obviously my perspective, my opinions on the thing. A lot other artists are different. Some artists just do full day appointments and just kind of do 8 hours of tattooing on one piece and go. I do more small pieces, obviously, but everyone has kind of a different way they work, and just mutual respect, I guess. Kind of respect your artists and they'll respect you, and if you tell them about something you want changed respectfully, it'll be done. So.
If they're good. and respectful, like you said,
Yeah.
which I think is huge. I also
If
agree with you,
they're a
Kaitlin.
boss babe like fucking Kim.
I agree with that as well. But I agree with you, Kaitlin, that like sometimes I think it becomes like I know one of my artists, it was like her waiting list is usually like a year-long waiting list. So at that point, like I've waited for a year for this. Like, I don't know that I want to make an adjustment to something that you, because I finally got in for this, so I could see that. But I do want to ask, and like I said, your tattoo shop is in a skate shop.
It is, yeah.
Friggin' awesome. And you play roller derby.
I do all those things.
I love that. This is ironically enough, for having a roller derby person on, I don't think I had any overlap with you ever in playing, so I don't know that you've ever seen me play. So we have like I keep getting people on here, and like I've never had any overlap with. They skated at a different time than I did, or whatever. So it's just so interesting to me. But tell us about like how you enjoy being a roller derby player with your studio being in a skate shop. How hard is that sometimes?
Well, it's kind of a story. So when I did move here, when the pandemic happened and shut everything down, I was watching a documentary about like obscure sports around the world, and episode 3 was about roller derby, and I was like, what did I say, 2020? I was 33 at the time, and ever since, your 18-year-old girl self sees those badass bitches with 8 wheels on, ooh, looks so fun. But I was never in a city that was big enough that had a league, or in a place long enough where I could make the commitment to a team, to learn the craft of derby. But when I moved here, and then when the pandemic happened and I saw this episode, it was just like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that. I'm putting roots down. I'm in a city that has a league, that has 2 leagues. And so the next day I went out to Legacy Skates and I bought my derby skates, and I think that was about, well, let's see, that was 2020. And then, so this is my first full season with KCRW. I did the mini season last year, and I was in their training program for like the year before that. So I haven't been on the scene very long, and since I've only been in KC for 4 years, and 3 of those which were very isolated.
Quarantined.
So which is why you and I haven't really passed each other on the track much.
I retired 2 years ago, I think is now. I think I can't remember if this is going to be my 3rd year that I've been retired or my 2nd year that I've been retired, but I've been retired for a while. I also don't really do this often because quality and such, but I will because you're a roller derby person, and maybe I can get it to work so you can see it. But all of my helmets are above me. The black one is my last Nationals helmet that I played in. The white one is my first Nationals helmet. And then that one is the red, white, and blue was because as an African American, I am proud to own the rights that I now have. So I had a helmet that I got done for myself. But
so much.
Like I said, we kind of support roller derby by way of like, those are the people I am around most often. My wife still plays, obviously. But I just wonder, like, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to our very first episode with Simo, and we talked about like the role of a pivot and how sometimes in life you just have to pivot. And we realized, man, this is a really good analogy for life, because sometimes things happen and like you need that like secondary thing, and you just got to pivot. So I'm curious as to like, has roller derby translated anything into like everyday lesson for you, that like roller derby taught you this thing that you can now apply to your life as you exist in the world?
Oh, gracious me. What hasn't roller derby given me? I mean, my goodness.
Kim said, oh, gracious me. Oh my Lord, I love you. Oh my God.
Do declare. What hasn't it given me? I mean, it's given me a family when my family was 10 hours away. You know, there's 111 people on Discord that I can reach out to at any given moment, and 30 of them will respond in 2 seconds. You know, like it's my KC family. It's the people I first met when I moved here because everything else was closed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's taught me a lot about interpersonal skills also, like how awesome it is that there are different types of people in the world, because there's so many things to do and things that need to be done, and roller derby just is such a weird cross section of like that. It's just like this petri dish of the world, and you just see every bit of it in it, and oh man, I would not be here where I am without it, for sure.
I love that.
For sure.
As you were leading up to it, it's like I knew where you were going, because to be involved with roller derby is to understand an unseen world. And it's such a weird thing, because it's like, how does nobody else know this thing exists like this? Because I didn't know it existed like this, but now that I'm here, I can't, how did I never know this? And and
it's like this world in itself, you know, this community, this whole community. It's just lovely.
Some of the people that like, I know I will be friends with forever, even though I've never, I didn't grow up around them. I don't see them every day. I might only see them at practice or games or whatever. Like those
that you
people,
don't know their government name.
Yeah, exactly. I could not search them on Facebook and find them because I don't know. Which that's also a whole nother thing. Which if you play roller derby and you know how terrible it is. So
people will be like, "Oh, I know so and so that played derby."
I don't play roller derby, but
Tiffany Smith. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. What? Yeah.
But just my exposure to the sport from Matt, who has been my sole exposure to the sport. Like, if I showed my husband a video, like a YouTube video of roller derby, he would be the one holding the sign saying "Go Sports" kind of thing, you know. But like, your wife, Court, on Instagram. Like Cherry Violence. I'm like, no, she has a whole other government name. But my assumption is to know her as Cherry Violence. And
that's how everybody knows her. She's Cherry.
Fucking badass. She's Cherry. And you know what? She's got an ass tattoo to fucking match up to that too.
It does.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Kim.
I will shout out Zombina, my wife's derby wife, and her have the zombie cherry skull tattoos on their respective butt cheeks. So yeah, that's a thing.
They're real cute.
They're adorable.
Matt, you are my only exposure to the sport, but Arch Nemesis has some auditions coming up, so don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, good.
We'll see.
Do it.
We'll see.
Do it.
We'll see.
I've been trying to talk her into it. She's in St. Louis.
He has, but I have so much. Of course, Kim. Of course, love you, adore you. I have so much rage that I think roller derby really would help me resolve. So,
Get it out. Oh, feels so good.
We'll see.
When that first bruise comes up, ooh, baby.
We will revisit this interview a year later and just see how the chips fall.
I love it.
And the people you block also fall.
Yeah.
Kaboom! But yeah, no, derby names, and like I am lucky and I have a last name like Holmes, hence Holmes Room. So through boot camp, I was Holmes because that's why I didn't have a derby name yet. So it just stuck because it's Holmes. So like whatever.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what my derby name is. It was always just Holmes. So like even still, it's funny. However, at a game last month, I believe, I got addressed as not my derby name, not Holmes, but Mr. Cherry, and I was like, that's literally the first time. So I've been gone from the sport for long enough that that people don't know me. So now I'm Mr. Cherry, and I feel like that's an accomplishment.
I love
So
it.
I'm Mr. Cherry now.
I'm so happy.
I love it.
You have the privilege of being Cherry Violence's husband. That is such an honor for you, isn't it?
It is. I love it. So again, it's this weird world.
Matt, you are husband goals right there. You're like, I graduated from derby player to Mr. Oh yeah. This is where I want to be.
So the only ADHD is making me grab an experience that I have to be able to relate to that experience. The only thing I can relate to is I drop my kid off at daycare, and one of the older kids in a classroom I have to walk through to be able to drop my 2.5-year-old off. She addressed me as, "That's so-and-so's mom." And that was the first time in my life that I was addressed as my daughter's mom. And I was like,
Weird.
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
But
you're like,
you know
hey,
what?
It's Kaitlin. You get it
You
right.
are Cherry Violence's husband. You're welcome.
I
Go
am.
court. We love you.
It was good. It was a good moment. So we are coming to the end, and if you wouldn't mind being a boss babe just one more time, technically 3 more times because I got 3 more questions, but that's a parentheses moment. But answer the this or that's for us. I can do that. And I made them hard. Kaitlin can attest to the fact that my this or that's are like jagged glass or broken rocks. Like they're I try and make them kind of difficult. Sometimes they're fun. You might have fun with some of these, but
I'm so freaking excited. Okay.
So we're swinging for the fences with the very first one.
Okay.
Skating, never skating again or never tattooing again.
Matthew.
She used the government name.
Yeah, swinging for the fences.
Can you use the government name?
Okay. Repeat the question verbatim, and I will answer as you have said it.
Okay. Never skating again or never tattooing again?
I would choose never tattooing again because I could still paint and do other creative things, but if you fucking take those 8 wheels from me, I'll slice you up.
Honestly, Kim, not what I would guess that your response would be.
And that's how you know you're not a derby person, because I knew that's what her answer would be. Because she can still paint, she can still draw, she can still do all of the other things about art. But if you take those wheels away, I
Kaitlin,
go to practice.
I'm 5'2". My gait is so tiny, I can't run. I need those wheels. I need those wheels so bad.
I can't run. I have to have wheels on my feet.
I have to.
I love it. All right.
That was a hard
one
though. And Kaitlin, please know, in this or that, these aren't real scenarios. It's okay. I'm gonna keep tattooing.
No, I know, but I have such an emotional attachment because I really want you to keep. I really want Kim, I really want you to keep tattooing because I want to get a tattoo from you. So Kaitlin, it's fine. Don't worry.
I'm gonna keep tattooing, baby. Don't worry about it.
All right.
And also, Matt has a great. He's just somehow has a twisted enough brain to be able to find.
That was
all right.
Up. Oh.
Second question. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm ready.
All right. They're gonna get a little bit easier. Don't worry.
Thank God.
Doing a tattoo or sitting for a tattoo?
Doing a tattoo, 100%.
Yeah.
I get very if a tattoo is over 3 hours that I'm getting,
we talked about that.
Yeah, I can't sit still, and I'll start to fall asleep, and it's not because I'm not feeling the pain, it's because I'm sitting still, and I get so scared that I'm gonna just jerk it and create some awful line, and it just after 20 minutes it's boring to sit there and just sit there. But as a tattoo artist, after 2-3 hours, it's not boring because that's when the good part starts going. You get in the groove, you get it going. So yeah.
When you did my arm, you had Sleepy Hollow going in the background, and that was amazing. So I appreciate you understanding that it does skip. It's cool. Something
it
to do.
does. It gets so boring, and as you can see on the video with all the stuff around here, my goal is to distract you for the entire time you are in my studio.
I read so many book titles and wondered what was inside of them. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
So the last one.
Okay.
you get free reign to do whatever you want on a tattoo, or an extremely specific, like detailed, they tell you everything they want tattoo. Are you choosing to do a tattoo like I guess are you going to favor and want to do a tattoo that is like they just say do whatever you want, or a tattoo where they want something super specific, ultra detail in everything they want, so like you can't go outside of this box?
For the latter, is it still something I'm drawing for them, or is it like a?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I would say the former, because that's kind of hard actually, because with no direction, it can be very overwhelming, like, here, just do something, and you're like, what? And like with too much direction, it's like, okay, just calm down, so a good balance is, obviously what you want, but I guess I'd say free reign for sure.
See, as an artist, I would have to go with like a super specific idea, simply because like I painted helmets. I did derby helmets. Like the American flag one is one that I painted. So like when people would just be like, do whatever you want, it's like, yeah, it's your head. So
it's really overwhelming.
Yeah. It's like, give me something. And it's like, well, I just like, my favorite one was like, I just want a galaxy, but do whatever you want. That's cool. Cause that's like, okay, I get to play with some stuff, but
yeah,
like when I get,
that.
Yeah,
I like that. Like,
yeah.
Give me a starting point, and we can go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could not do like, hey, just do whatever you want. Like I got one. I did a Viking, or like I guess we'll go with Viking. Like battle helmet for a girl. So it had like the wings and like a crown, and it was like dented, like airbrush dented, so it looked like it was like a battle worn helmet.
Yeah.
I did this badass like warrior. I call her a warrior-S on like the back of the helmet, and like a bronze, and it was so fun. But then like the clear coat fucked it up, and I was so mad because there's either I could take it all off and do it again, and she was like, you know what, no, I love it because I gave you free reign to do whatever you wanted, and it looks more battle worn, so like absolutely. And I was so appreciative of that, because I don't like going to just do whatever I wanted to do, but I really wanted to do a warrior thing, especially for like a roller derby player who's badass. Like, so yeah, free reign. I don't know, you're brave. You're brave.
Well, like the people that say free reign, are usually the kind like that are like, dude, whatever you do, it's got you in it, and that's what I wanted. And so in that regard, that's the kind of client that I like to work with, just a little more, because they're going into it with the first thing being like, this is about sharing something artistic, not necessarily about this is perfection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun, and I'm sad that we have to, because this has been a blast, and you're one of those people that we're going to be like, you should totally come back on if you ever want to talk about anything else. I feel like
we have so many things we still have to talk about.
Of course, Kim. And let me just promise you, here and now, to all of our Homes Rooms listeners, I have so much room on my full sleeve that I am still working on. Kim will be putting a tattoo on my fucking arm. Okay.
I love it.
You can take that to the
bank. We could do a Homes Room here in the studio.
Whoa, that would be awesome.
I would love that.
Kim?
Yeah.
Kim, I don't know if you will find this jarring or not, but Matt and I have actually never met face to face before.
We have never met in person.
Oh, I love
we are podcast pen pals.
You and Matt have met, but Matt and we are coming up on over a year of co-hosting episodes together, and we have never actually met before.
Oh, then we gotta get together. Oh, that'd be so fun.
There you go. Absolutely. Now you just sealed it. We're gonna have to get Homes Room tattoos.
Let's do it.
Yes. I love it.
But can you drop your socials and where people can find you, or where people can book appointments, so that people use this episode as a way to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So the best way to get in contact with the tattoo shop would be through Instagram or Facebook, Vicious Sweethearts Tattoo. You can just drop a message in there, and either I or my awesome, amazing assistant Jamie we'll get in contact with you, talk you through the process, and see if we can get you taken care of. Also, research your tattoo artist, and if you're wanting to get a tattoo from me, I ask you to please feel free to look through my portfolio both online or stop in the shop. I have one right outside my door for people to look at, and just make sure we're the right fit for each other. Yeah, and come see me. Vicious Sweethearts Tattoo.
Yay. Thank you again for being here. Thanks for doing this. I'm glad that we had this moment of like, this is the actual anniversary and we had so much fun doing it. Like, I'm glad that we could bring in your anniversary with this episode.
Divine timing.
I realized it live here.
And it'll be saved for posterity forever.
I love it.
Congratulations, Kim. Let me also just tell you, as somebody who has always respected the work of tattoo artists and the adventurous and brave spirit that you have to be able to dive into this business venture for yourself, that what you are doing matters. I am so completely proud of what you are working towards and have accomplished already 365 days into establishing Vicious Sweethearts. And I am so excited to see where you are in another 365 days.
Thank you so much, Kaitlin. Empowered women empower women, and you just empowered me, so thank you.
100%.
Boss babes.
Boss babes.
You want to get knuckle tats of that? I mean, I'm just saying.
I love that face.
I might entertain it. Not even mad.
And with that, thank you for listening. Have a good day. We already established it could be day, night, evening, whatever time you're listening.
Have a good insert here.
Have a good insert here. Perfect.
Love you, friends. We will see you next week on the Holmes Room podcast.
Bye.
The bell is about to ring. If you want to drop us a voice message or simply ask a question, you can do that by clicking the link in the show notes below. Be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It helps more people find us. Theme music by Kinsey. More music available on Spotify. Remember, every day is a class. Go learn something.